Let's talk about the answers, yes?
Yes.
So, what about this one? So, I like some pop music, I like any pop music, I don't like some pop music. So, the sentences are all correct. Why is that? But some, okay. Any, okay. And I don't like some, but I like others, yeah? Other kinds of pop music. So when we think all the pop music in the world, and then I like any, all kinds that you show me, then I will like, then I like. I don't like any means that I don't like anyone, right? So here I like all kinds. Here I don't like any. Here I like some, but I don't like all. And here I don't like some, but I like the other kinds. That's why they are all correct. And how do you generally explain this to your students? Do you explain it this way? No. I think Kahoot is still playing here.
Yeah,
just a second. No, but then a little bit disturbing, yes, sorry.
Because the rule says that any has to be only.
Okay, how do you explain that to your students? Talk to me.
With great difficulty.
Sorry?
With great difficulty.
With great difficulty. But do you explain this way? Or do you explain that we use some in affirmative sentences?
Yes.
If we use any in negative, what about interrogative? Some or any, offer or request, use some, okay? This is what we say. Is this true all the time? No, because I like some pop music is affirmative. Okay, but I like any pop music is also affirmative. So, this is language awareness. When you understand exactly the rule and why things are the way they are, we are able to maybe explain or talk to our students about rules which are true. Yes, bad rather than oh no, but then in this situation N is an exception. It's not an exception. It's really part of the way the language works. So, what if we explain it this way? Some is used if the idea is restricted or limited. And is used when the idea is unrestricted or limited. And applies to all or none. Some applies only to part. Because when you use any, it's all. I like, you can park your car anywhere you want. Could be anywhere, okay? Sometimes any in the negative means no, so it's all or none. Whereas some is just a part, okay? Do you see? So I think this is a nice way when we know this, really the rule, not this affirmative and negative thing, it's better because then we can explain things better to our students. And then there will be no exceptions, not one that I can think. This explanation is from the book, The English Verb. Do you know this book? No. It's excellent. It's a little bit difficult to find now because they're not publishing the book anymore, but it's excellent. And you talk about many of those things.
The English grammar.
The English verb. Okay? Questions about this? Could you use this in your classes? Definitely. So why do you have to say affirmative or negative? We can use this explanation. It's not so difficult. And then there won't be any exceptions for us to talk about. Okay? Yes, some people are still taking a picture.
Are you going to edit? Can you send to us by email?
Yes, yes. Just ask me. At the end, I will give you my email address. You ask me and I will send it to you. Okay? What about this one? They can use the singular when referring to one person. And then, it's correct. Why? Okay, if it's he or she, okay. You know what is interesting? Now it's very common for she's, they. When we don't say anymore he or she. Oops. It's my water. Thank you. So, sorry? Yeah, the water is incorrect. Definitely the place is misplaced. So, we use they when you want to say, oh, and then this is student, and then I'm talking about a student, say he or she. So we use they, and this perfectly correct. It's very interesting. So let's try to complete the sentence. Oh, look, there is somebody climbing out of the window of that building opposite. Oh, they have fallen. If you don't know if it's a man or a woman, you don't know the gender, you can say they. They have fallen, okay? And then, in 1989, in this same book, he says it's possible. He says, we can use luces. We can use to avoid saying he or she, for example. Who was on the phone? It was someone I met at a conference last week. And they, and then, you don't know, maybe you're talking, I don't know, to someone, and then you don't want to specify if it's a he or she, and then you can use they. Back in 1989, it was a clever, subtle use, not a mistake. And now it's a rule. Nobody says he or she.
No gender.
No gender, exactly. No gender. So back then, it was like a subtle use. Now it's really a rule. We use this all the time. Instead of saying he or she, because saying he is not the case anymore, definitely.
The S is on the singular.
Sorry?
Using the S.
If it's the
Which S?
The third person present, is it they has?
No, they have. They have. You conjugate as they. That's what you're asking? Yes, no. Yes. So here, in this sentence, oh, they have fallen. They have fallen, not has. Then you follow they, not he, she, it. You follow the normal rule of the verb. The only thing is that you use they instead of saying he or she, or only saying he, which is much worse. Or the person, one. You can use many things, but then they is accepted nowadays.
This way,
It's a very big word. Not mean a plural person.
Yes.
But use the grammar they have.
Yes, exactly. So, you mean that is one person, but the grammar is the grammar for they. Yes.
because in this way, it's impossible to know if it's a she or a he.
Exactly.
That's the idea.
Exactly.
We don't know.
Yes.
The idea.
Exactly. We don't know or we don't want to say. Either we don't know or you don't think it's important to say. But let's suppose...
Miss, right? It's the same thing.
What do you mean?
Miss, MS.
Okay, but...
It doesn't matter if she's married or not.
No, okay, but then it's only about women, yes. Here, what happens is that maybe you don't know or you don't want to say, or you are talking about, for example, if I'm talking about a student, because I want to tell you a story. I'm not mentioning exactly who the student is, so I use they. So when a student asks you a question, and you don't know exactly how to answer, they might feel, instead of saying he or she. Because a student could be he or she.
She made.
Yes.
We like a mess because we don't know if it's married or not.
Okay, so in this case, maybe we know, but it's not important to mention if it's he or she, or because I'm talking in general. Do you understand this last part? So I say, I'm talking about a student. So a student has asked me, when a student asks you a question, they generally want to know, instead of saying he or she, to refer back to student, or instead of repeating the word student, then I use they. Is it okay? Yes? What about this one? I would play a lot, I used to play a lot. I would be thinner when I was 10. So, the first one is incorrect. Why?
The first one I used to know.
Yeah, this one I would play. Yes, should be I use, yes. Why? We cannot use would.
Future mean. I would lie.
Not a future mean. We don't use would. So sometimes it sounds incorrect, but we don't know exactly why. This is the point. So we know that it's incorrect, but why? Because there is no context. You don't use would to talk about something in the past without a context like this one. I would play a lot. So, when I was 7, I would play with my Barbie for hours, for example. Then there is a context, and then you can use would. But without a context, would is not possible. Okay? Okay?
But you have to say that's in the past, because you could say, I would play a lot, but I'm too tired now.
Okay, but this is another meaning.
But it needs context.
Yes, but I would play if I had time, let's say.
But can't you consider that right? Because I thought about that, the use in the past
Okay.
for nostalgia and so on. And I thought it was right.
It is not right just because there is no context. If I say, when I was 7, I would play with my dolls for hours, then there is a context. Then I can talk about something that I used to do. So if the one about the dolls is correct. It's correct because there is a context about the past. I would play. Yes, because this sentence in isolation without anything else is incorrect. This first one is incorrect. In this case, you have to use used to, because then used to doesn't need a context. But would for the past needs a context. Okay? I would spend hours talking to my friends on the telephone when I was a teenager. It's okay. It means that was something that I used to do. Then you can use used to or would. But the first one, without anything else, just this sentence is incorrect. Okay? Then I used to play a lot is correct. Then I can use without a context for an action there was a habit in the past. What about this one?
No.
It's incorrect. We don't use would to talk about past actions with stative verbs such as be or no. That's why the third one is incorrect. Why did they bring this one? Because it's a difficult topic. I think, in my opinion, it's difficult to remember. At the books, oftentimes they will teach both as possibilities. I mean, you can use would or used to talk about the past. But then they don't say exactly how we can use. Would cannot be used in all. Yes, depends on the sentence, you cannot use would. Then only used to will be okay. Yes? Questions about this? What about this one? It's possible. Why? Why do we use the present? Sorry?
When you're telling an anecdote or a funny story, a joke.
Exactly. So it makes it more vivid. Yes?
That comes to me, I'm in a bower and it says
Makes it more present.
More present, more vivid, really. Okay, that's why we use this. I'll give you an example.
The news itself.
All right, so I'm back in high school. I'm standing in the middle of the cafeteria, and I realize I am totally naked. Then I look down, and I realize there is a phone there.
Instead of
That's right. All of a sudden, the phone starts to ring. Now, I don't know what to do. Everybody starts looking at me.
They weren't looking at you before?
Finally, I figure I'd better answer it. And it turns out it's my mother. Which is very, very weird because she never calls me.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. On the computer is perfect. And then I don't know.
judge.
Yes.
No, that's okay.
No, but that's okay, I
That's
think.
okay.
Yes, I don't think it's a problem.
No.
I think it's okay, Julia. Because now we are moving on. So, this is this piece, so take a look. So he's talking about the past, he's telling a story, but he's using the present. And you see gets, because it gets really vivid. Couldn't you imagine the scene while he was telling? Of course, it's a humor show, but while he was telling, couldn't you imagine exactly the situation? So I'm back in high school, and then you imagine him younger, and then this is the idea. It becomes more vivid. That's why we use the simple present to talk about a story in the past. Okay? Questions about this one? No? This one is a nice one. So the tenses in English are present and past. Why isn't future a tense? Because future is used with an auxiliary. So you need to use will or going to be going to. You don't use only the verb. Present perfect. I have been, have is an auxiliary. That's why the only tenses in English are present and past. So, future is not a tense. Present perfect is not a tense. And there are some books that say the present perfect tense. I've taught some books with this, but it's wrong. This is wrong terminology. You don't have to tell this to students, but I think it's interesting that you know. We don't have to share this kind of things, but it's interesting that you know as teachers, okay?
So when you use present with the meaning of future, it doesn't matter, it's present.
It doesn't matter, it's present. The tense is present. I will talk about this in my next slide. The difference between tense and time. There is a difference, okay? So,
there is a difference of Portuguese, maybe different in Portuguese, because you say things goodbye.
Exactly, and then there are many of them, but in English, only two. And then something interesting is that you can use to remember that it must always be inflected. It means that if I say, I have, not have because could be an auxiliary. I could have used any verb and I chose one. So the verb go. He, she goes. She went. When we talk about future, doesn't happen because the verb will continue in the infinitive form, right? So every time we are thinking of a verb which continues in the infinitive form because of any reason, is not a tense. When there is a tense, the verb will change. Depending if it's he, she, for example, in the third person singular, or if it's in the past, so it will change. In the future, does it change? I work tomorrow. I'm going to work tomorrow. Doesn't change. Okay? Doesn't change. So there are two things for you to think about. One is how it changes, and if it changes, and the other is the need of auxiliary. For example, I had been working for 5 years when she started teaching. I had been working, so had is the auxiliary. Okay? I had been working for 5 years when she started teaching. Okay? So starting the sentence is the past, is a tense. I had been working as the past perfect is not a tense. Is this okay?
And if it's wrong to say present perfect tense?
It's wrong.
Yeah, but how do we call it? Present perfect?
Present perfect.
It's
Yes, it's the next word. I wouldn't get into there, but it's okay. We have a Delta student in the room. Yes. Yes, we have Vila who's taking Delta, and then if I say something wrong, she will know. And then if I'm explaining something wrong, definitely there is this person who will know, and many others, so please participate and let's share. So it's an aspect. But then you just call present perfect, I think is easier. But something very interesting for us to use in our explanations, or not to use in our explanations, but for us to really understand these things in English, is the difference between tense and time. So, I speak Spanish well. It's present tense, because I speak. This is the simple present. But